My boyfriend just found out about my past trauma, and now he is upset because he thought I was innocent when we first got together. Trigger warning, essay. This is the weirdest situation I've ever been in. I feel like it's not even real. My boyfriend, 23 male, and I, 20 female, have been dating for nearly 2 years. We're going through a rough patch currently, but we still love each other very much. 2 days ago, we were talking about social issues, feminism, etc., and the story of Brock Turner came up. We obviously both agreed that what happened was horrible and that Brock deserves to be in prison forever. I then started sharing my opinion about woke culture, adult content, and the patriarchy. In the middle of my rant, I said, as someone who's had those things happen to them and knows people that went through the same things. And he immediately cut me off and said, "What do you mean?" I then, as tears were filling up my eyes, revealed that I have been essayed many times before. He was shocked for a moment, then asked me why I didn't tell him sooner. I honestly just didn't think about telling him. I try not to think about it. He then started asking me a bunch of weird questions. Questions like, how many times have you gotten essayed? How can one even fit at that age? When's the last time it happened? I was getting really uncomfortable, especially because he looked more fascinated than empathetic. He then stopped himself and said, "Wait, so you lied to me?" I responded, "When did I ever lie to you?" And he said, "In the beginning of the relationship." I was so confused because I've never lied to him. I said, "What are you talking about?" And he said, "Didn't you tell me you had your V card?" I said, "Yes, I had my V card." He said, "Well, apparently not, because I'm finding out you've made love before." My heart dropped. There's no way he's one of those people. I said, "Are you serious right now?" And he screamed back, "Yes." He was getting really angry, and I couldn't understand why. Like, if anything, he should be angry with the people who did those things to me, right? He then said, "I can't believe you lied to me about having your V card. I can understand that you didn't want to, but as soon as one goes in you, you don't have your V card anymore, I don't care which context." He also kept saying things like, "From a male perspective, this changes everything," or "Imagine you think you're with someone clean, only to find out they're used up." I was crying at this point. He looked at me with disgust and left. It literally took me so long to think about my essays without bawling my eyes out. It took me so long to be able to look at one of my abusers, we go to the same school unfortunately, without having a panic attack. Now, I feel like I'm back to square one. That's why I never talk about it. The only person in the world who matters the most now thinks I'm dirty. And honestly, he's probably right. Personally, I think I wasn't wrong for saying I had my V card, but I guess I should have told him sooner about my past. I spent the whole day crying, and I was seriously contemplating taking my life, so I called a friend to come over. I told her the entire situation, and she said that while she sympathizes with me, she feels like he's not 100% wrong. I didn't, technically, have my V card, so I should have told him before our first time and not let him believe that he was the one who took my V card. She said she would be upset too if her boyfriend led her on for 2 years. Now, I can understand this logic, but I feel like if you didn't want to, it doesn't count. Also, I'm more upset about his reaction and calling me used up like I'm some sort of dirty object. I feel like breaking up with him, honestly, but I also think I could explain my point of view and tell him that my goal wasn't to lead him on. I need outside opinions, please. Edit, I never explicitly mentioned to him that I have my V card. Our families have been friends for as long as we can remember, and during a game of truth or dare at a party when we were around 17 and 19, I simply said no when asked if I'd had made love before. I prefer to only be intimate within committed relationships, and since he's my first boyfriend, I think he assumed he was also my first intimate partner. Just to clarify, he didn't have his V card either. Update, some people wanted context. I used to get essayed by 2 family members on my dad's side from 7 to 9 years old. I then got essayed by a friend at a party when I was 18. He knows the friend who did this to me, lol. He's literally a known predator in our town, but no one seems to care. It took me a while to even realize that what my family did to me was essay. I get so angry at myself sometimes because it took me literally 10 years to realize. I started getting flashbacks and nightmares from those nights when I was around 17, and that's when it all clicked. Also, my parents are literal rope apologists, so there's no point in telling them anything. I also didn't wait almost 2 years to tell him about my essay. I just don't think about it. I don't like thinking about it because it makes me feel dirty. I still experience flashbacks occasionally and they haunt me. I don't want to talk about it at all. Sometimes I genuinely forget it happened to me, but in general, I'd rather act like it never happened. Anyway, he and I've known each other since I was born. Our parents were friends and they used to always make jokes about us dating, and when we eventually did, they were so happy. His family is very wealthy and mine isn't at all, so they, my parents, count on me to help them get out of poverty with his money. He's always known that I'm not a very intimate person, so if I were to make love it would be in a relationship. He's my first boyfriend, so that's why he thought I had my V card. Update, I texted him saying that we needed to talk. FYI, we've been having issues lately, like not too long ago he got super mad at me because I didn't want to make love with him on my period. I ended up apologizing because his birthday was coming up and I just wanted to celebrate with him. Anyway, he came over and I told him that while I understand him feeling misled, what he said was completely out of line and I can't trust him anymore. He did apologize but kept defending his point, Saying things like that's not something you keep from your partner, or I thought I was your first and finding out that someone else went in before me is shocking. I was so disgusted at the way he was speaking about my assaults. I asked him if he knew the difference between consensual lovemaking and rope because the way he was talking didn't feel like he did. He got kind of offended as if I was questioning his intelligence but ended up saying yes. I said then why would you call an SA victim used up, and he said that it just came out and that he didn't mean it. Now, I can understand that, but I certainly wouldn't have said that if I were him. I said I don't understand your obsession with my V card, you didn't even have your V card either. He said at least I didn't lie. I started crying and yelling I'm not a liar, because I didn't lie, and I was just so frustrated because it feels like I do everything to understand where he's coming from but it's never reciprocated. Also he acts like I got SA 2 weeks ago, like, I was literally 7 can we move on? I also brought up his comment about how can one fit at that age, saying that it was very inappropriate and that it made me want to throw up. He again said that he was just thinking out loud. I then asked him why he didn't comfort me at any point and he said that it was because he was just shocked and blinded by the fact I lied. I didn't even know what to say. I was so confused because we were literally having a conversation about rope culture before that and he was saying things I agreed with. It felt like two completely different people. I eventually said that I want to break up and he begged for us to go on a break instead. He literally got on his knees and cried saying he couldn't lose me and that he'll do more research about SA and that he wants to learn. I said I'll think about it. As for my friend, I didn't even contact her. I don't know what to say. I know she didn't mean any harm by what she said. She doesn't like picking sides. She wants everyone to get along, but it really hurt me. Especially because I just wanted some comfort to be honest. Final update. Hi. I finally found the strength to leave him yesterday so I'm gonna tell you how everything went down. He called me and asked me to come over. I brought a backpack to pack some of my things because I knew it was the perfect opportunity to break up. As soon as I let myself in, he went in for a kiss and I dodged him. He asked me if I was still mad about the situation and I said that I'm not mad and just really hurt. He said I thought you would have gotten over it by now, it's been almost a week. I don't know why, but when he said this something clicked. I realized that this man doesn't feel any empathy, he doesn't care about anyone but himself. This actually got me mad so I started packing my things without saying anything. He was like, "What are you doing?" and I said, "We're over." He started freaking out asking me why. I wasn't responding, I just kept packing. After a couple of minutes of me packing, he randomly pushed me on the bed and got on top of me and started screaming asking why I want to break up. I was crying because I was so scared. I just kept repeating "let me go please," and he would say "I'll let you go if you stay and if you stop packing." I eventually agreed to stay and he let me go. He said if it's about the SA thing I said I was sorry. I know I shouldn't have said that, you're not gonna throw away an almost 2-year relationship over an incident. I said I just wanna go. He said why can't we just get back together, you said we'd go on a break. He was crying talking about how we grew up together and that all his memories have us together. He said that we're so involved with each other it would be weird to just cut each other off. I said I didn't care and he got super angry and yelled at me. He took my backpack and dumped everything on the floor. I was so over it at this point so I didn't even care. I headed to the door but he grabbed my arm and brought me to the bed again. He started kissing me everywhere and I was panicking because he was holding my wrists with his hands. I was sobbing because I actually thought he was going to do something to me. He eventually stopped but asked me to please stay together. I said I would if he just gives me some space. He agreed so I got up, got my stuff and left. On my way home I texted his parents to tell them everything. I texted him too and said that I told everything to his parents and not to contact me again, then I blocked him. His parents were super apologetic and thanked me for telling them. I think his parents contacted mine to tell them what happened because my mom called me screaming to ask me why I broke up with him. Now, I don't have a close relationship with my mom, or any of my family members really, so I just said I don't know then I hung up. I think she knows what happened because she talked to his parents but then I don't know. As for my friend, I sent her this really long paragraph saying that what she did was unforgivable. I said that by not taking sides she took my boyfriend's side. That she basically agreed with what he said. She replied saying that she understands where I'm coming from. She was super apologetic and admitted that now looking back she understands that what she did was not okay. She said that she understands if I want to cut her off but our friendship means a lot to her. I said I didn't want to completely cut her off but I want to keep my distance. I think that's it. Also I started doing some research about EMDR therapy and I think that's something that could help me. I'll check it out. Thank you for everything.